In early October 2022, US President Joe Biden held a press conference from the White House addressing Russia's invasion of Ukraine. While Biden is no stranger to weird statements, he said something that was absolutely bone-chilling. Biden stated, "For the first time since the Cuban Missile Crisis, we have the direct threat of the use of a nuclear weapon." He later went on to say that the use of just one nuclear weapon could send us on the path to Armageddon. Welcome back to Curiosity, and today we'll be talking about what would happen if all the world's nukes went off at once. How many nukes are there? Would human civilization really be destroyed? We're talking about all that and more, so stay tuned. There are currently over 12,700 nuclear warheads in the world today. At least, that's the estimate given by the Federation of American Scientists. The exact number is unknown, which makes it even more terrifying. At the moment, there are 9 known countries with nukes, although their status varies. These countries are United States, United Kingdom, Russia, France, Israel, Pakistan, India, China, and North Korea. When it comes to numbers, Russia is in first place, with 5,977, with the US coming in second at 5,428. Together, both countries account for roughly 90% of the world's nukes. While there has been an effort over the decades to reduce the numbers, the pace of these reductions has slowed down in recent years. Both the United States and Russia have dismantled nuclear warheads. Once the bomb is dismantled, it's placed under the category of retired. Currently, the United States holds 1,800 retired nukes, while Russia has 1,760. Before we go any further, what exactly is a nuclear weapon? Most people spend so much time worried about the destruction a nuke would cause, they're not interested in how they're made. A nuclear weapon, also known as an atomic bomb, atom bomb, nuclear warhead, or simple nuke, is an explosive device made from a nuclear reaction. As for the science that goes into a nuke, well, that's enough for a whole other video. But once dropped, a nuclear bomb releases large amounts of energy from small amounts of matter. So, how much damage can one nuclear explosion actually do? Well, this varies depending on the technological resources. In the United States, for example, the most powerful nuclear bomb is the B-83. It holds the equivalent of 1 million tons of TNT. This makes it 60 times more powerful than the bombs dropped over Japan during World War II. In the US, over 650 B-83s are currently active. Just so we're clear, 1 million tons equal 1 megaton, while 1,000 tons equals 1 kiloton. As for other nukes, it's said that the average contains an explosive yield of 500 to 800 kilotons. Regardless of the power, just imagine the damage one of these bombs could do if it was dropped in your own backyard. The result is almost complete devastation of its target and surrounding areas. Unless the bomb is dropped directly onto your area, the first thing you'll see is a bright flash. The power of this flash is so overwhelming, it can temporarily blind you for over a minute. The next thing is the blast wave, which can destroy any person or structure within several miles. People at the center of the explosion would be killed instantly. As for the distance of the blast, well, it depends on the explosive yield. This is the amount of energy released by the nuke when the bomb is detonated. A blast wave can reach a radius of between 10 and 20 miles. People who aren't caught in the blast radius can still suffer burn injuries and death. The fallout from a nuclear blast will also be devastating. I'm talking about debris and radioactive dust that can kill or severely injure anyone exposed to it. There's also the threat of radiation that can result from the fallout. The radiation from a nuclear blast can alter the cells in your body and even cause radiation sickness. Too much exposure to nuclear radiation can lead to acute radiation syndrome or cutaneous radiation injuries. It can also cause cancer later down the road. Examples of this were seen after the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki back in August 1945. Between 129 and 226,000 Japanese civilians were killed as a result of the bombings. These were the only times nuclear weapons were used in an armed conflict. With all that said, what would happen if all nukes were to detonate at once? Scientists refer to this as a doomsday scenario. Let's just put it into perspective for a minute. There are over 4,000 cities in the world containing 100,000 people. It takes about 3 bombs to destroy every one of these major cities. And believe me, we have enough. Let's say you are watching this event unfold from space. If these bombs were to hit their targets at the same time, you would witness every continent blanketed by fire. This would kill well over 3 billion people, close to half the world's population. As if that wasn't terrifying enough, there would still be an estimated 1,500 nuclear warheads left. But if the goal was to annihilate the entire world's population, they wouldn't be needed at this point. Remember the fallout we discussed a moment ago? Imagine that, but all across the globe. We're talking about clouds of dust as far as the eye can see. Even the people who survived the bombs wouldn't have much of a chance. The fallout would destroy whatever crops and food sources are left. Experts say that the survivors of the initial blasts would die of hunger within the next 2 years. So what if all nukes were detonated in one place? This is a scenario experts have always wondered about. But what do you mean, wonder? It would surely break the entire planet into a billion pieces, right? Well, not exactly. But believe me, the devastation would be unlike anything Earth has seen. Let's say we chose to pile up every nuclear warhead we had on Earth and detonate all of them at once. Remember, this is close to 13,000 nukes. Let's say each one of them had an explosive yield of 500 kilotons. The second the bomb goes off, everything within a 30-mile radius of the blast would vaporize. Not only that, everything within 150 miles will burn. Needless to say, if you're in the general area of the blast, you won't have a chance. If the blast happens around a heavily forested area, the fire will spread even further, killing millions of people along with any wildlife it comes across. If you're not near the explosion, don't think you're missing out on all the fun. The blast would be heard around the world, literally. A pressure wave would circle the planet dozens of times over the span of a couple of weeks. It would be unlike anything you've ever heard in your life. Picture something out of a sci-fi movie, only this is real life. The impact from the thousands of nukes would leave behind a crater roughly 6 miles across and 1 mile deep. Too bad you won't be able to explore it. You see, the radiation caused by the nukes would be enough to kill anyone who came close to the crater. It would eventually reach places hundreds of miles away. So let's say you weren't in the area of the blast when it happened. Would you be okay? Let's talk about nuclear winter. The debris from the mushroom cloud will be thrusted into the Earth's atmosphere, spreading around the globe. The fallout will get so intense that it will eventually blot out the sun, keeping heat from reaching the surface of our planet and lowering the Earth's temperature by 20 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. No human or plant life can thrive in this environment, making Earth nearly uninhabitable. This is what is known as nuclear winter, and it could last several weeks. While this may seem like an extinction-level event, it may not be. Yes, humans could potentially survive nuclear winter. With that being said, your chances are still unlikely. You have everything from radiation to oxygen to food supply working against you. You would have to be a certain distance from the blast radius in order to have a chance. From there, you would need supplies to last out the weeks without sunlight. So nuclear war may not be Armageddon after all. But either way, more than half the world's population would be lost. Nuclear war is unlikely, but with Russia's recent invasion of Ukraine, it's something that's been weighing on people's minds these days. Let's keep your curiosity going with a couple more videos, shall we? Here's what you need to know. Check out what would happen if the US and Russia declared war? Or how about what would have happened had Japan not attacked Pearl Harbor? Go ahead, click one, or better yet, watch both, and learn more about the history of the world. Is nuclear war on your list of fears? Let us know in the comments below.